Hey guys, welcome back. This is just me doing a little bit of the install on the new water pump I have so that I have pressurized water on board. I didn't get a whole lot of footage because I kept forgetting to record that. I did a little bit of better job getting some footage of the other projects that I got going on this week, so we're going to take a look at them. So we have this really cool sewing project that we're getting up to here, and that's going to be making the lee cloth so that when I'm offshore that I don't fall out of my bunk. So here I'm just taking measurements. This is the bar that I'm using to make sure that the line is straight, and that's actually going to be used in a later project. So when you're cutting this fabric, you're going to want to make sure that you're actually cutting it and not just letting the scissors glide along, because if you let the scissors just glide along, it'll actually tear the fibers and it's going to leave a really nasty edge. So now then we got it all cut out, we just have to pin it all up so that we can get it all sewn together. This took quite a bit of time, and because it was a little bit windy, it took a little bit longer than it should, but you couldn't have asked for a better day to be able to do this outside. Sewing is definitely not my strong suit, but I gave it a try anyways, and the hardest part I found were the corners. The project actually ended up going really well, and it turned out really nice. So one of the big projects on the list for this winter was to put in my propane system. Now I don't have footage of it all because I kind of went mad one night and just started doing it without thinking. So I'll show you what I have set up right now. So I have the head unit for it, and that'll be my solenoid switch and my check, and the alarms right there as well. The actual sensor for this bad boy is down there. And my stove is just up here. Mind the mess, because the place is destroyed. So this was all back in that locker. And then the propane hose is going to go from the stove down through the watertight bulkhead, and then it's going to go into the engine bay, back to the back rail, or the stern rail, come up through the deck there, and then into the propane box. And I've yet to build the propane box, so that'll be on the list too, but I would just want to get it run to where it needs to go, because then the rest of it can kind of be worked out as the funds for that become available. So right now we're just gonna drill a nice hole into my engine bay. So there we got our hole drilled through. I'm just gonna go through to the other side and make sure that it's in a good spot, which it's exactly where we want it to go. So let's finish going through. So these are the glands we're using. They just tighten onto the bulkhead with a nut. When you tighten this end down, it seals around the propane line. So then we have a nice airtight seal, and if we get a leak in here, it's not going to spread into the inside of the boat. So we're going to use one of these at every point at which it's going through the fiberglass, to one, protect the hose, and two, stop if any leak is to happen, it's going to stay kind of right where it's isolated in between these guys. So to get this on, we're going to take the top cap off, slide it on, and then we're going to take this part, and because I want the fiberglass to be on this side of it, we're going to push this end in over here. Can be a little bit of a fight. Probably can be helped if you were to put soap on it. It would probably make it a lot easier. And then we're just going to slide that up to where we want it, and then we're going to jam this end through into my engine bay and put the nut on the other side and tighten it in place. So next I'll tighten the nut down on the other side, and then we get to unbury the boat, because it snowed last night quite a bit. So because I'm borrowing the hole saw, I gotta make sure that I'll get it done when I have the time to borrow it. No excuses today. Gotta unbury the boat so that I can run this hose to where I want it to go. So, as a precaution so that we don't get any debris or anything in this end, I'm going to tape it up, and then we're going to send it through the engine bay. This is going to require me lifting up my cockpit floor, which luckily does lift up, so that should be easy. And then we'll just have to feed it the rest of the way to the stern rail. Once it's at the stern rail, we'll do the same procedure as before. We'll put the ring on, we'll bring it up through the deck, slide the fitting on over top of the end here, and then we'll lock it all into place. So we're going to try and root it while we're doing it, and try and get some zip ties on it so that it stays as neat as possible and as out of the way as possible as well, because that's going to be a big thing for this, is that we're not on anything that's hot or anything like that that's going to melt or burn through or chafe through the hose. So that would be bad. So it ended up routing through the engine bay really nicely, and this is just me putting on the last fitting, and then I'm going to put a bag over the end just so that the moisture doesn't get in while I'm building the locker for the cockpit. But I will see you guys all next time. Thanks. Bye.